All right, welcome to the Register. It is your periodical ring up of headlines and KPIs relevant to anybody who makes, sells, or distributes stuff. Let's go. Okay, so the Register for May 9th. First, we only have two positive headlines out of the ones that we dug through this time. Couple of companies launching new lines. And honestly, even these ones, it was just like, they're launching their latest thing. Yes, there was some expansion, but it wasn't like the type of stuff where you get excited and go, "Oh, the economy's up and roaring." Contrast that with we had six negative headlines this time. First, the NRF really banging the drum on tariffs. They had two different really strong headlines just saying, man, these tariffs are hurting, especially kind of Main Street. And, I think some of the evidence is there that at least right now, yeah, it's hurting. Domino's Pizza, even as a kind of a lower income consumer target, really the lower income consumers, they're not spending so well. Colgate Palmolive missed their guidance. We had a consolidation headline here. So sometimes you see acquisitions and they can be a positive sign for the economy. Other times it's like, man, some pieces are struggling and it kind of starts to consolidate. This definitely seemed like consolidation. Deliveroo, the acquiree, is definitely struggling. So they're getting basically bought out. And then you have online stores. Why so many fail? Well, at one point, we would have looked at headlines around e-commerce and go like, hey, this is the big gold rush. This is the boom, right? It's exciting. It's awesome. This headline was like, why so many online stores fail? How to beat the odds and not die. So a little bit sad, a little bit of a bummer from an overall economic outlook, retail outlook. Neutral, a couple of headlines of things that you could squint at it and say, okay, so Walmart is making a little bit of an investment, but that's really just protecting themselves from tariffs. And then same thing with Primark. They're growing in other places, hurt in the U.S. The net is kind of a neutral headline. But hey, there's some international growth. Okay, maybe we're not totally set. So then we dove into the metrics, and with first of all with our retail sales. Hey, retail sales continue to trend up. They were up month over month. There's been a long year over year trend, just up and up and up, and that continued and even hit a new high here in March. But this is March data, and March was the month where everybody was like, "Okay, tariffs are coming. I got to buy some stuff. I got to buy the stuff that's going to get hit with tariffs." So we're waiting with bated breath for April's numbers. We'll see what actually happens after the initial tariff buy up. And then, as tariffs hit, you think, okay, US manufacturing needs to go up then, right? And so in April, it stayed above 50, which is expansion. It stayed totally flat from what it was the month before. New orders rose, domestic demand, but I mean, this is very small marginal growth, and output even fell. Business confidence isn't great. It wasn't like a huge explosion uptick of U.S. manufacturing. You can see kind of some breakdown here of a bunch of stats related to manufacturing in the U.S. in specific locations. Wasn't like a necessary explosion. So here's my summary. Here's my bow on it. U.S. manufacturing will need to grow a lot more than this for a long time if tariffs are going to have the desired impact. Right now, we're struggling with the initial impact of the tariffs. We haven't seen manufacturing start to explode and grow, and it would have to explode and grow for a long time before you get some things like prices back to normal, consumer confidence up, and money entering the economy through manufacturing. So on the net, the KPIs I wouldn't say are necessarily great, at least not yet. This is actually our worst the register yet, with a net balance of 4 negative headlines, and our KPIs was overall negative. So that has been the register on this sad want note. Your ring up of headlines and KPIs for anyone who makes, distributes, and sells stuff. If you'd like to stay in the know, you can sign up for the register either here via email or by joining our LinkedIn page and getting the register every time we publish one. Thank you. We'll see you.